A Novel's Extra is a Korean light novel where Kim Hajin, the main character of A Novel's Extra, is an author of a modern fantasy novel, gets isekai'd and transported to the world of his own novel. I will say this novel is amazing. I personally loved the series and the time I spent reading it. So in short, Kim Ha-jin gets isekai'd to the world of his own novel he wrote as an extra background character. However, he soon realizes that the world has changes and differences from the storyline of the novel he wrote, and if he wants to survive, he needs to try his best to keep as close to the main storyline as possible. Kim Ha-jin is a pretty likable character too. He's not a coward, and he can kill people if needed. But he's not totally ruthless. You can actually relate to him. He has emotions and struggles. I really like Kim Ha-jin. It's very fun and interesting to see how he interacts with some of the characters in this world. Because if you really think about it, he's basically God of this world. He gets transported to this world. Although he isn't strong as a god, he wrote and created all of these characters. He poured his heart and soul into writing and thinking of these characters. It's interesting to see him interact and talk with characters he wrote. He knows all about their backstories and life problems because he was the one who created them. However, he quickly realizes that they aren't just characters in a story. They're real people with emotions and feelings despite being characters that Kim Ha-jin wrote as a novel. He meets some of the villains in the story, and since he knows all of their backstories, he pities them despite knowing they're evil, and despite the fact they do evil things. And although this is a very cool and interesting concept and dynamic, the story is mostly an action story with magic and monsters as well. In the novel's extra, Kim Ha-jin gets a unique and cool power. However, he starts off weak, a nobody, but he has a system that allows him to level up and have powers which no one else has, which allows him to grow stronger and faster than others. Also, he uses a gun as a weapon, a transforming gun. He can transform his gun into a machine gun, a shotgun, and a ton of other gun types, which he uses to fight both humans and monsters, which is pretty cool in my opinion. He starts off weak, and it's fun to watch and read him slowly become powerfuler and surprise all the people around him who looked down on him. And since he wrote the novel, he knows all about the secrets and hidden OP items as well. However, Kim Ha-jin, he doesn't become overpowered. He becomes strong and famous, but not overpowered, because Kim Ha-jin knows that there is at least one person stronger than him in this world. And that is the main character of this world. And you might be thinking, wait a sec, isn't Kim Ha-jin the main character? Well, yes, but no. Kim Ha-jin is the main character of the novel, The Novel's Extra, which is the novel I'm talking about right now. But as you know, this world is the world that Kim Ha-jin wrote. And he also wrote a main character for this novel world before he got isekai'd into the world. So although Kim Ha-jin is the main character of the novel that you're reading, he isn't the main character according to the world. And thus he won't be the strongest, as the world will favor the real main protagonist. If you're confused, don't worry. If you read it, you'll understand. Also, it's cool how since this world is the world of the novel that Kim Ha-jin wrote, he's basically given plot armor. But the plot armor is part of the plot itself. It's like plotception. And it's also very philosophical and makes you question yourself in this novel as you read. Throughout the story, some characters find out that they are actually but mere characters in a novel, which breaks the fourth wall, as they know they are fictional characters in a story. They question their existence and their reality. Is their entire life scripted because they are just characters in a story? And as you read this, you are literally reading words on a page. A fake character in a story questioned their entire life. But since you're reading a novel, you know that these are fake characters written by a real author. And yet, It feels so real. How they keep doubting their own existence. It's super bizarre, but it's a very interesting and fun to read. If you don't like philosophical deep stuff, like me, and want a more simple thing, this is also pretty amazing as well. Simply as an action adventure fantasy like story, the action and fantasy aspect is very detailed and well done as well. This is just how I personally felt as I read this. But to be honest, you could probably read this entire story and feel nothing similar to this. So don't feel intimidated by anything I just said. But if you do think what I said is interesting, even more reasons why you should give it a try. The action and adventure is good. The feels and emotion is good. There's even a tad bit of romance, but it's easy to ignore if you don't like romance. And I actually kind of like the romance, and I'm not really into romance stuff, but it's actually pretty decent. There's also a fair amount of funny misunderstandings. He does something, and the other people around him misunderstand him, and it creates funny and cool situations. Though the misunderstandings do eventually clear up though. I won't spoil anything, but bruh, the ending though. It left me sad, even though it's technically a happy ending. Its ending is somewhat similar to Solo Leveling's ending in the light novel as well. Overall, a great read. I recommend it to literally everyone. I rate it a solid 9 out of 10, and you should at least give it a try. Well, thanks for watching. If you have any light novel recommendations similar to this, similar to Solo Leveling, a Korean light novel, Japanese, or Chinese that you think would fit this genre, do comment it down below. I want to read more, and perhaps I may even review it. Oh, by the way, I'd prefer it if the novel was completed and fully translated. I hate waiting for new chapters, so if possible, only recommend completed ones. Thanks. Bye.